This is what I would say February is about. February is about being honest with myself. And damn, you think it will exist forever and you forget that you just live after your disappointments. Just like everything sucks. Like the general bar is like tool. There's no person, there's no thing that's going to truly help you help yourself other than your own personal strategies that work. They were always career centered. I did not plan for a husband. I did not plan for children. I'm not one of those girls who planned for a wedding. It wasn't the thing that got me. I ain't got answers for you in this video. All I got are questions. I've been drinking lemon water since last August. I drink it like 3 or 4 times a day. And I actually stole this from when I used to live in Portland, and some of I'm just going to say Asian because I do not know specifically where they were from. And I don't need y'all coming for me in the comments, but they would drink hot water after every meal. And I was like, why? And then I was like, try. And then lemon water became in the morning. And then after that, it was drinking hot water after every meal. I think it helps me digest. I feel better. I don't know. What is it? I guess I could Googled it, but it says warm water digests food more quickly and it stimulates digestive enzymes. So it can improve digestion and avoid bloating. There you are. I'm not really deep into their Ayurvedic, but I do know I am someone who constantly has cold hands, cold feet, cold ears. And once a acupuncturist told me to drink ginger water, like warm ginger every morning to heat me up. And I think that is so true. The spirit of farewell February, which is the closing of the winter season, going into the spring equinox, which will, by the time you're watching it, probably already happen. Hence why I'm wearing the butter yellow. I think it is something that we always try to dash and run away from winter because winter is brutal and it is dark, but it also brings so much immense clarity and attention and direction if you can hear yourself. So one of the first things I wrote was, you just live after your disappointments. Like anything that I've been upset about or scared about or disappointed in or didn't go my way, I just literally woke up the next day and just lived after them. And I think that one was, that's a line, because we replay that same thing about like anything new that you're trying to try or any disappointment that you've just now had. You think it will exist forever and you forget that you just live after your disappointments. Just like you live just after your success. Like you just go on living. Thing I wrote in my morning pages was, beauty is an evolution of character and spirit. Beauty wasn't something that was actually talked about in my family. We're not ugly, but I had no concept of what beauty was, right? And now that as I'm growing up and I'm getting older, I'm starting to see that it is truly the evolution of your character and your spirit. And that's why I think it eventually want to manifest on the outside, because it's like people say, once you've done the internal work, you genuinely just want to align the external. That I want to have a beauty practice. I want to dress nice. I want to decide how I want to present myself physically, and I'm feeling different in my body and I'm taking care of my body. And so I find that all those things are just an evolution of what is already inherently within me. And so I just thought that was a very interesting phrase that came to me in my morning pages, which is, beauty is an evolution of character and spirit. So everyone was talking about how social media sucks. And then remember we were talking about how relationship sucks, and having a boyfriend sucks, and having a girlfriend that sucks, and friendships suck, and then jobs suck. Like everything sucks. Like the general bar is like everything sucks. But I'm not having that experience. But I enjoy social media. Like I enjoy the people that I follow. I feel constantly inspired. I feel constantly seen. I feel like there are things that I haven't even imagined for my life that now I can envision because I'm on social media. I've seen creators create these communities where you're genuinely invested in not only their well-being, but your own. I mean, I got on a whole fitness routine because of a specific creator. So I just want to say that, like, I really do think it'd be us sometimes who be sucking. Like, I think we need to be better social citizens. I think I can say that about everything. I think to just say that social media sucks is not to look at the practice. And granted, the overlords have changed the practice because dollar bills. I get that. But I also think that we're being passive when we don't think that we can have control over how we want to cultivate social media. I'm having a blast. It's the first time ever. Like, I'm really in people's DMs. I'm really in comments. Like, I'm doing what I would do with people that I'd meet on the streets or friends. I just think that, I don't know. Guys, listen, I want us to enjoy life, and social media is a part of our life. And I know people are like, I'm out of this bitch. I'm tired of social media. And please take a break where you need to take a break. But once again, I'm not having that same experience. That doesn't mean like little things doesn't come up. And I feel like what I experience on social media is what I experience also in real life, and vice versa. And so I really do think that I want us to like move the conversation about like how much social media sucks. And again, if it's genuinely not good for your mental health, bounce, leave, never look back. But are you being social? Are you engaging with people? Are you supporting people? Are you allowing people to support you? I think it has gotten away from that because of the dollar bills. But like, dollar bills have always been out there, y'all. It's people always been making money. I don't necessarily think that we should shame people for that. I don't think that, because there are people who rightfully deserve the money that they're getting paid for their creativity. And yeah, I don't know. I do know. I like social media. I like the way I've cultivated social media. And I think that if you don't like your social media, I would look at who you're following and why you're following them. And then I will also say that if you need like some recommendations, I'm happy to drop some recommendations. I have cultivated an amazing feed of people that I love, rooting for and learning from and doing stuff. But I'm going to say this. If you ask me for some recommendations and I give you some names, don't be acting up at these people's comments. Don't be hating. Don't be doing too much. Like, be a fellow social citizen, okay? And with social citizenship comes responsibility, which is just be good. Be good people. Be decent. That's my take on social media. I still love it. And that's coming from somebody who was always passive and thought she didn't like it. But what I inherently didn't like is how I felt on it. And I had to deal with how I was feeling. So, and also, I'm a Black woman on social media, and the Black women go off. Like, I love supporting them. I think social media can be better, and I think we can be better on social media. And that's just my God-given take. I want to take more pictures, and then I want to scrapbook. And I got this off like I got this from like reminiscing on like going back onto my mom's picture and how fine my mama was. Like, to be able to go backwards and see your parents, when people like post their parents' pictures, I would be like, hey, your family was. I'm like, well, what about me? Like, I don't take pictures. I don't take enough pictures. There's like gaps of me. I mean, I got my Facebook hacked when I first moved to Paris, so like any of my like Facebook pictures gone forever. Like, there's just these probably like a decade of where I didn't want to see myself and be taking pictures. So go back and to look at that. And most importantly, I want a scrapbook. There's nothing better than like when you go to somebody's house and they have scrapbooks and you can just see their life in these pictures. And that's something that I want for myself. Because this is what also February taught me. There's no tool, there's no person, there's no thing that's going to truly help you help yourself other than your own personal strategies that work. There's certain ways that I have to ask myself questions. Like, I can't just, for instance, I have to say what is important to me right now. Because in the past, when I was like, what's important? All these things are important. I want to accomplish all these things, but all these things do not have the same weight. And I can't do some things without doing the other. But I almost felt like I was giving up. And so even how I phrase a question to myself is my way and my strategy of being able to like focus and get clarity and do that. And I need that. Like, it's just like I need writing things on paper, and I can't really do Notion digital planning, even though I think it's beautiful. Like, but I had to be honest with myself. I'm like, girl, you old school as hell. You need paper and pen, and you have to ask a question a certain way to elicit a true response. Not every question is weighted equally. What's important? What's important right now? Bam. That was a game changer. I decided to rewatch Scandal because I needed to deal with the world. And I will say I was lost in it for like the first 4 seasons. But I realized, and I never realized this before when I watched Scandal, but Olivia Pope do a lot of damn hollering. Like,
the Republic at all costs. So I want to know right now, in this moment, who you are.
She just be yelling like all the time. Like, and everybody's yelling at each other like this on a close-up, and just, it was a lot of yelling. And I just did not know sis would be yelling like that all the time. Like, Olivia, I mean, she gets the job done, but she'd be yelling at you the whole damn time. Like, that was crazy. But did that make me feel better about the world? Not really, because there were some predictions in there that came true, and I'm like, but I felt something. which is better than nothing. So each Sunday, I love going on a walk. And when I go on a walk, I like to really go with my partner. And so this particular Sunday, I went on a walk with my partner, and then we ended up getting into an argument. I can't I can't really remember why we got in an argument, but I do know we got in an argument so much that I yelled at him, and so much that I said, "Oh, what did I say? Oh, I said, oh, you ruining my walk." And it tumbled from there. And when I wrote in my page the next day, I realized when I wrote in my morning pages the next day, I realized I was like, I ruined my whole walk for myself. It was one of those like one of these key moments where I was, let me just write, I was like, when I got in a fight, I realized my go-to emotion was anger, and then it's frustration, which then leads itself to impatience. And I was walking away because I'm never mad, and I yelled that he was ruining my walk. And ultimately was learning was I have not had the capacity, the emotional and the intimate capacity to be with another person ever. I have had to learn this lesson. It has always just been me. It has always at least been me, and like not feeling obligated or responsible to any other individual. And remember when I said like going back to like being honest with yourself and the things that we tell ourselves, February was also a month of like understanding what I was actually saying to myself, and how I was narrating my life. And that included being in this moment of being like, I only envisioned myself with a career. I envisioned maybe I'd have different lovers, I'd go travel the world, do multiple things, but they were always career centered. I did not plan for a husband. I did not plan for children. I'm not one of those girls who planned for a wedding. It wasn't the thing that got me going, And I have not realized that story is the story I've been telling myself, even in the midst of being in a monogamous, healthy, and stable relationship. And realizing that I'm creating so much tension because I feel like there's these two people one's trying to be like, oh, well, this is a new experience. Let's just, I feel good and I'm present and that's fun. And then the other part is like, well, no, girl, we did not say this. We need to get back on track. Like we messing up. And wow, what a warring tension. And I just didn't realize I was even saying that. Like, I didn't realize I was saying that still to myself in the midst of this, and realizing that I just never have built the capacity for that. And to be frank, like there's no way to build capacity for a lot of things until you jump in and you do the things. And that's one of those things I kept finding myself saying over the past month, being like, well, why did I know? I should have known, should have said this, da, 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 da. And it's like, well, you couldn't have. So I'm being honest with myself, and I'm like, what does that mean for me right now? Like, I'm having to reimagine a future, or do I need to reimagine a future? Is this still something I still want? Is it something that I feel like I need? And ultimately, I'm just coming down to, where are the lies that I've told myself based on limited information, based on other people's experiences? Like, I grew up with a single mom, 2 kids. Like, I held on deeply to the fact that like I always just needed to be able to take care of myself and do everything myself because I could not depend on a man, which isn't partly true, but like I had a grandfather in my life who was very present and took care of, like, was the patriarch of our family and also did a lot of like I would say they didn't always abide to their gender roles at that time. So I don't even have answers. Look, if you're looking for answers in this video, I ain't got answers for you in this video. All I got are questions. And sometimes that's enough. But ultimately, I apologized to my partner, and I realized that the relationship's been kicking my ass because I just didn't prepare myself. And again, preparation can only be once you have information, but like I just never really considered this possibility. And not only is it possible, I'm living the reality of it. And so I'm reflecting on realizing that I'm needing to expand my emotional capacity. Sometimes we give people a lot of slack for never leaving their town or their city or the state, or never living abroad. And I just want to smash that really quick, because I definitely think there's a difference to being a cultured individual who travels or who has a diversity of friendships and understanding of people and walks of life and curiosity than it is to immigrate, because immigration is not no joke, y'all. And I think that I took for granted how easy it was to maneuver in my country, in the USA. Like how I don't think about language, how I have more capacity for other things now, because I didn't always, but I had more capacity for other things because my day-to-day life here in Paris is of me juggling a multitude of balls in the air at the same time in the back of my mind. And so I just want to dispel that, like, let's not be giving people shame for wanting ease in their life. Let's not be giving people shame for like wanting to stay in their town, their city, their state, just because we maybe want to go do something different and hard. And let's not always mistake hard for the best thing either. Like, again, I know I'm probably contradicting a statement earlier, but everything is contextual. And in this context, I do understand the fluidity and the ease of maneuvering through a country. Like, I took that for granted. And although it's not that something that I want to jump back into immediately, it is making me reflect and be like, okay, well, I'm 5 years into Paris. What do we do? Because we're right in the middle. Do I stay until I get to this point where it feels easy? Which I think that is my general consensus on that. But also, man, do I love going back home, and it feels effortless. It feels so effortless, and I can breathe. And I know there's mayhem in the US, but I can breathe. And I do not take that for granted at all. Because I did wake up one day in the middle of the night being like, why am I in Paris? What am I doing? I'm missing my family. Oh God, what am I going to do? I literally was freaking out, and I had to calm down, and I had to be like, well, even if you were in the States, you wouldn't be living in the same state as your mom. One thing that I had to be honest with myself and realize is because I had a lot of friendship transitional endings. And right now, my relationships have to feel easy. Like, I'm usually the initiator and going getter when it comes to like building, like maintaining my friendships, but I don't have the capacity and the energy for that in this season of my life. And I wrote that, and I'm honest. I'm like, I need things to feel easy for me in my relationships. I need friendships that feel easy. And that's just because that's the season I'm in. But luckily, prior seasons, I have put in the work and the effort to have these sustaining relationships. And although all of them they do not exist today, I can't go out of my way right now, honestly, to say that I need to fight for friendships and relationships. I don't have it in me. And that's okay, because I've communicated that to my partner. I've communicated that to my friends. Like, there's just different seasons for different things. And me trying to hold the ball up in the air and initiate on all of those things is quite impossible. It feels like my spirit is splitting, and I just cannot handle that type of pressure anymore, because I have to be honest with myself. So February taught me where I need to it's not even about a boundary. It's just where I need to pull back and just allow life to flow. Like, I'm going to allow my friendships and my community to just flow. And I trust that what other endeavors I'm doing in my life and other areas of my life, those things will continue to exist. Of course, I'm going to do the bare minimum and maintenance and like call my friends and talk to them, all of those things. But I cannot pour the same amount of energy in this season as I've done in the previous seasons, because there are other things that are important to me right now that I want to pour my energy into. And that's just the reality. Yeah. I wrote, no outsourcing my decisions. You never know ahead of time if something is the right choice. Fewer voices, clearer choices, which is just me saying, again, figuring out what works genuinely for me. I did wrote down here. I said, Olivia Pope does a lot of screaming. I told you that I know she was doing a lot of screaming, that I had to like write this in my morning page, just like as a reflection, to be like, yes, sis was doing a lot of hollering in these episodes. What else? Oh, I wrote this as a response to a screenplay feedback that I got. And what I said was, the feedback was about the ending to the script that I'm going to produce here in Paris, and my short film. And it was, they wanted to like have a nice tied up bow ending. And I thought about this, and the thing that hit me different this season was my creative autonomy and authorship to say, I know why I didn't have it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know why I don't want that script to be nicely tied up, because for me, life is not always like that, where we have these final endings and these wrap ups and everything's been reconciled. And sometimes it really is the ... that just has so much weight on our life, and it's the hardest thing for us to move on and deal with, but it's the most realistic thing in our life, is the ... And so reflecting on that decision and being able to make executive decisions in my morning pages was very, I don't know, it was reaffirmation of like me knowing myself well enough and knowing why something needs to exist and when I can just let things go. February was a month of being in conversation with myself, conversation with my spirituality, being able to, you see, even it's hard for me to say God, because let's practice this, right? Being in conversation with God, being in conversation in a way that is honest and true to me. And I say honesty, I mean like really being honest with yourself. Like, you want that thing and maybe you don't know why you want that thing, but you do. Or maybe you did something that you thought that you shouldn't do, but you like doing it. There's a lot of lying going around. And I know that because I be lying to myself. And so the thing coming into the next season, into March, which this video will be be well into March by the time you see it, is I'm going to be 100% honest with myself. And there may be some things that hurt in that reality of being honest with myself, but I do think I deserve that. I do think my life will be much more fruitful and present if I can do that. This thing that's come out of February, and I don't need my notes for this, is my YouTube channel. Like, I decided there are only 3 big things that I'm going to focus on for the spring season, and more up to that. And I realized that when I started YouTube, I very much, like you do anything, you see other people and that you admire and you see how they're doing things. And I've done enough videos now to start to feel like I have just been kind of creating outside of myself, creating what I think wants to be done versus like really where my life is at and where I'm going, and trusting that wherever I'm at, people will resonate with it. And so that will be a transition for me. But I said, I also just want to create a space where you are loved. I want to feel like a place where you can be messy. I want it to feel like a place where you can grow and that you do not have the answers. I want to cultivate a community here of honesty and of ambition, but of also the reality of our lives, the uncertainty of our life. And so what I will be presenting more on this channel is like what's really going on in life, what I'm really striving to do, such as produce my short film here in France, which I'm really excited about. And any other endeavors, like me having a side hustle with recruiting and wanting to be more of a digital creator. All these things exist, and I feel so much more invigorated and alive by sharing what's actually going on than what I think I want things to be going on. Because again, I'm at dis-ease when I'm too far in the future and it does not match my reality. And so if you are someone who wants just to show up every day and just try their best, and who believes in themselves and thinks they can do it, but also needs to be reminded of the power of community and the power of just like going and trying your best every day and not having the answers. And so I do hope that at the end of the takeaway of these videos is that you feel like you are in conversation with another human. But also that you can go do what you want. I wrote this in my morning page. I didn't say this, but I feel like this is a good point to say. I want to be an ordinary woman who does extraordinary things. That is my life legacy. And I don't need to be special or to be the most talented person to do that. I just need to have faith. I need to action. I need to have community to support that. And so if you resonate with this, I would love for you to subscribe. I would love to be in community with you. And until the next video, which I think will be about like what we're doing next, the big things that we want to do. So until then, bisous.
Foundation. One.